scribes.
Yeah. It's but so we have in Zoom a transcription option, yeah, to
add
the protocol, yeah.
we have, but I don't know how we can use
Okay,
this.
I have maybe if you look into the setup in Teams, it's a setup. It's the transcription is
Yeah.
done. Yeah.
Maybe you can look in your setup here,
Uh,
but it's recording, so that's good already.
I think you can use a record.
Yeah, you sure?
But if you go to this account, it won't probably will not activate now.
Mhm.
We'll have to look out.
We are recording right now.
mhm. In the setting, there's a recording tab. Yeah, under the recording tab, toggle cloud recording.
Yeah.
And in the cloud recording section, pick the audio transcription checkbox. Yeah.
The last one to send this they'll just join us now. This one. We can pay for more. Make it a bit personal instead of hard. There's some relaxation.
Really?
Hello everyone. Hi Eileen. Hi David.
Hi, good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Hi there, good to
Hey.
see you. Hi, Alexandra.
Hi, Ellen.
Good morning.
Good to see
Also,
you.
I would like to welcome Asreen and Furkan from Istanbul. Hello. Hi. Did I pronounce your name correctly? Asreen and Forkan, right? Yes, super.
I will cancel the mic and the video like the rest of the participants.
Thank you.
Yeah. I think it will be today will be like a workshop, so most probably we need sort of activity from your side, like either mic or writing or things like this. Like
Well, definitely what you will need is a piece of paper and a pen
yeah, if you
for
can,
your own
yeah, if you can bring just a piece of paper and pen.
All
to
right.
take notes.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Alexandra actually will lead the session. So I myself, I don't know what I should do. So
You just take your pen
okay,
and paper.
I have them with me.
And
so.
wait for instructions.
Okay. Then
pencil
I'll be
exam.
right back. I'm gonna get paper and pen. I'll be right back.
All right. But of course you can also use Word if you like to, but
That's okay. If I don't need to draw, then I think I will use
no, you
Word.
don't need to draw.
Yeah,
You don't need
okay,
to
okay.
draw. No
Okay.
drawing required. I'm just
Fair
a
enough.
big fan of paper and pen because I come from the learning end, and I know that the brain is much more active if it involves more than one sense. So paper and pen are very useful for the learning process.
Absolutely. I agree. Okay, so I have my Word ready too.
Well,
Also, we have with us Al Barsalan. Hello, Al. Al Barsalan is you met him. Actually, we are working
I
together.
haven't met Davide, but hello,
Hi,
Davide.
everyone. Hi,
Hello,
Kamal.
Al. Assalamu alaikum. How are you?
I'm fine. How are you?
Alhamdulillah.
Thank you.
And Davide is our partner from Italy. Yeah.
Well, welcome.
Yeah.
So
I think this is sort of consortium-wide meeting because we can see people who are here in the room. They are part of the consortium. Al and Davida and Elim part of the consortium, and I think also Forkan and Asreen also student from Istanbul Cultural University. So they are also somehow part of the consortium.
great,
They
great.
they are our technology transfer office interns.
Okay.
Mhm.
So most probably I will meet them soon online in some activities.
Yeah, hope so.
Yep, yes.
Well, shall we go
So-
then? Thank you
So
very
now
much.
I will leave it for Alexandra, so she will lead.
Thank you very much, everybody. Welcome to today's workshop, which is actually the second part of our diversity and inclusion workshop. We're talking about diversity and inclusion in organizational processes, meaning processes such as project management, work environments, but of course, work environments and projects are made up of people. And diversity and inclusion is also something that is very close to our individual makeup, the way we approach the world and the way we approach working together. So we're going to look today at the aspects of how we include diversity and inclusion into our personal and work lives, and what we know about it, what we like about it, what we dislike about it, and what questions remain open to us. This is the second part. We already covered some key concepts in the first part of the workshop. We talked about diversity and unconscious bias, inclusion and stereotyping. We looked at the difference between equality and equity, how cultural and intercultural competence affects the topic of diversity and inclusion. What can we do in terms of improving our own diversity rating, our personal diversity rating through intersectionality and allyship. And of course, inclusive leadership was also part of what we were talking about. And I want to start you into today's workshop by listing the trusted 10 people. Who do you like to work with? Who do you trust? Who is in your immediate work environment? Take a minute and write down these 10 people. And we'll all do it, and then we'll figure out who we're actually close to. And don't just limit it to the current project you're involved in. Really think about your normal working day and who are the people you go to? Who do you go to discuss things with? Mm. And it can be people from your job directly, or it could be loosely connected to your work life. Sometimes you have external people that you connect with really well as well. So
And also the online people should.
yes, everybody should
Everyone.
make this list because it's the basis for our self-assessment, so to speak. Mm. And it may be difficult to figure out 10 people who you actually trust.
Could be 10, not more.
Not more, no, just the top 10.
Okay.
Okay, if you could maybe let me know in the chat if you're ready.
Okay, Eileen is done.
Everyone's done. Are you guys done in here?
Yeah.
10 is hard, isn't it?
No 10.
No 10, yeah, that is possible that you can't come up with 10.
No,
Mm.
not yet.
Is it okay for you to, David and Wolfgang, Alp and Arsene are you
Yeah,
done?
I think we'll,
done?
okay, done.
Yes.
Okay, so we'll continue on to the next aspect. Add the gender of these people.
Okay.
You know, you can just make a little gender sign. And then you see how many men and how many women you have in your circle of trusted people.
Wow, equality.
Equality, well, good for you.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so again, quick note when you're done, so we can continue.
Done.
Right.
Alp, yes.
Everyone should be done. So then add the nationality of these people.
Okay.
All right,
Okay.
so done.
Done.
Okay, great. How old are they?
No idea.
Well, guesstimates are okay here, you know, we don't want to insult anyone, but guesstimates are okay.
So, yeah, maybe.
So if you don't know the exact age, you know, you can guesstimate, and
It's strange. I
it's
know.
about structure, more or less. you
Actually,
know.
I know most of their age.
Yeah, sometimes we don't know, although they are in the trusted 10, we don't know how old they are,
Yeah.
which is also, you know, which says a lot really about inclusiveness, because a lot of people tend to hang around their own age circles.
Yes.
So are we done,
Okay.
everybody?
Almost, yeah.
Yeah.
Online people, are
Unlike
you done
people,
with age?
are we gonna have a sign of life?
Yeah, I'm done.
Okay, great.
Okay, good.
Now,
Yeah,
what is
me too.
what is their sexual orientation?
How should I know?
How should you
That's
know?
wild guess.
Wild guess, yeah.
Wild
And we're limited by just saying hetero or other.
It's
You mean if you have your friends are married, you can assume that they're hetero, and if they're in a partnership with a same-sex person, you can assume that they're homosexuals, you know, but guesstimate their sexual orientation. And it's interesting that the first reaction in the room was, how would I know? That's also very telling.
Sure.
Because some people would know, because they do limit themselves to a certain crowd. Now, if you don't know and you haven't thought about it a lot, that's also
No.
interesting. No, getting very personal here.
Yeah, I think so. It's an assumption, but I don't care about that topic. Yeah.
Exactly, yeah, but some people do care about it very well, and they will exclude people from their trusted 10 based on certain
Yes.
aspects. So, let's see. We done?
Yep.
I am
Okay.
not sure of one, but the rest.
Yes.
Okay,
Sure.
you can make a question mark, you know. Okay, so we should be
If we
done.
will reveal the name by the end of the discussion, or will be secret for us?
No, we'll
Be secret for us.
it will be secret for
Okay.
you. I mean, you
Okay.
don't have to share, and that's for you personal. Now,
Okay,
the
for
notes
my
you take are for your personal
Sure.
assessment.
It don't-
Education, what education level do they have? And with education level, you know, you can fine grain it to PhD or, you know, some kind of academic, but you know, academic or non-academic.
Yeah.
Mm. Yeah, what does that tell you about yourself?
They're just a mirror of me.
Well, let's see if that's true. We have two more things.
Until now, yes.
Until now, okay. So, are we done, people online? Have you figured out the education level of most of your trusted 10?
Yes,
Thank you.
hopefully.
Are they disabled? Do they have some kind of disability? Yes or no?
Only physical?
Physical or mental? Doesn't matter.
Almost no. Everyone. No.
The mental disability could be, I don't know, some degree of autism or
You would better.
What?
You would better.
stupid person.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if we can, you know,
No, but levels of
really talk about that, because is there a definition for that? No, so, no, but you know, do they have some kind of,
Yeah.
are they in a wheelchair, or do they have some kind
Yeah.
of disability? So, we're ready?
For me, online people is ready.
Okay.
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
Thank you. And then let's look at their marital status.
Oh,
And marital status means divorced, single, married, widowed.
But if they are living with their partners, can we use like married
Then they're partnered.
partner? Okay.
And if I don't know, maybe I can put a question.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And now we assume that the most trusted person of all is yourself,
Mhm.
and you answer these questions for yourself.
For myself.
Mhm.
Myself.
When it matches a bunch of the list, similar features or similar.
So earlier on in after the fourth item or after the fifth item, Stefan here in the room said, "Oh my God, they're a mirror of myself." Is there
Yeah.
anyone else in our group who had this feeling like, "Oh my God, they are a
Yeah.
mirror"?
That's what I just said, that is
yeah.
many similar features. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, there's many similar features.
Yeah.
As I said before, this is of course your personal information, but would anyone like to share their results?
Yeah, I can share some,
Mhm.
not all of them.
Was there anything in this list that surprised you? What was the most?
Actually, the most thing that I can see, they are well connected to what we are doing in Clouders Eye, so they are somehow linked to the project.
Okay,
Somehow, not all of them.
not all of
course,
them. Mhm.
But I can give you something like, for example, I have two here in the list from Austria. So the Austria has a maximum number.
Mhm.
I have one Egyptian, one Slovakian, Italian, one Turkish, one Finnish.
Mhm.
And this is good, actually, the Finnish one, because he or she supposed not to be in this list because he our boss.
Yeah, but I have my boss on the list too. That's
Yeah.
very interesting. Is anyone else
Yeah.
has got their boss on the list?
Mm.
1, 2,
Ye-
3,
Me,
4.
I have two bosses
also
and
right.
two of them.
Okay, so what do you think this means in terms of your organizational work?
They
I-
create a safe space for us workforce to feel safe, and we trust them.
Yes.
We
Yeah.
trust their judgment.
Yes, exactly. I think it's very important to have people in positions of power on this list because it says something about the way you can work.
Yeah.
It doesn't say if you have an organization where you do this and nobody's got their boss on the list, there is a problem.
Yeah.
This
Yeah.
Big one.
mean if you didn't get your boss, this means that the working environment is not as it should be, like friendly enough.
And
Okay.
we know from organizational learning that people can work best in an environment of trust because it's important for the process of organizational development to be able to experiment with items, to experiment with processes, and you can only do this in a culture of trust. So I'm very happy to hear that a lot of you have their bosses on the list because it actually means that we're in a conducive environment, in a learning conducive environment. Now, how many
But-
nations do you have?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7,
Two.
9.
Okay, we have Ellen has 2, Tama has 9.
Yeah, please.
Yeah, mine is 4.
4.
Yep.
Unfortunately, my team, my close team is only in Australia.
Okay, what? Okay,
In Australia.
2. Yeah, I have 5.
Yeah.
So we have a maximum. It goes from 2. No, from 1
From one to-
to 9.
Yes.
Well, that's probably it's got a lot to do, not so much with the individual, but with their working reality.
Yeah.
Hmm?
Yeah, that's true, because if I add 5 more people, they wouldn't be from Spain, none of them.
Mhm.
but I have my other nationality is Egypt. Tamer, you are on my list. This was a moment of awareness. You are number 6. Can you believe this?
You are number 4 here. I can repeat some names
because I
if you
have
like.
2 bosses and they are like on top of you. But this was like, oh wow. If I trust, then Tamer goes here like really high up. And I have put you before some colleagues that I really work close by, but I don't know. I totally rely on, wow.
Actually, I can tell you the names that I wrote. Is okay?
That's fine if you want to
So
share it.
actually, the first one is Alexandra in the room, Sophie, Angel, Eileen, Lotta, my boss,
Mhm.
my former PhD students and current colleague Mahmoud Hassan from Egypt, Alp Arsalan from Turkey, David from Italy, Katrina, and Kurt Stover, my former supervisor.
Mhm. Mhm. So you basically have only work-related
Work-
contacts on your list. Does anyone have private contacts on their list as well? Yeah, I do too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I don't.
And in what terms do you contact them for your work?
Everything.
Mhm. Sometimes it's nice to have people outside your work environment that you can bounce ideas off on to get an outsider's point of view. That can be very valuable, but of course it's always related to the degree of confidentiality that is attached to your work. So you should be aware of that. Another important aspect is the age range. What's the age range of people you trust? What is the youngest person and what is the oldest?
Actually, for my side, the youngest is just, I don't know it exactly, but I estimate it should be something like 35. Maybe actually the youngest, maybe 28. 28. The oldest is Kurt, is 42, 62.
Okay.
I know his birthday exactly. The same day like me.
Okay. So 28 to
28 to 62.
62.
It's approximately from 40 to 60, yeah.
40 to 60.
Average 50. Really average. They're all around
Around 50.
50s.
Ellen?
Between 23 and 55.
Mine is 25 to 60.
So we see that the average range is between 20 and 30 years.
Yeah.
That may have to do with the fact that you're still very young and you put your bosses there, which tend to be a bit older. And the older you get, the smaller the range.
Oh yes. Oh yes.
And what does that tell us about how we connect with young people? And
This
we're
means
in an environment where we should connect with young people.
Yeah, this means that we exclude them. We didn't include them.
I would be my personal experience is that I have been excluded from getting older and older.
So
it's
they
very
exclude you.
interesting. They exclude me.
Okay.
So the distance between my shared reality of experience and the youth current shared of reality of experience, it gets larger and larger, not because I wouldn't like to be,
But they
is like, nah, too old.
Okay.
Interesting.
From of course spare time, so not work related.
Yeah.
Okay. And now we're going now on our adventures like hiking, but you're not fast enough to work even. Like,
and I assume this may be fact if you are old mean like 50, 60
Thank you.
or so.
yeah. Let's start with 50. Yeah.
55 and above.
Yeah. No, it's okay. Start with
That's fine.
50.
That's fine. You know, we have to talk openly.
Yes.
And the fact that we consider 50 old is also telling, you know, because
I see not 50
It
as
is,
old,
it
but
is,
in
you
terms
know.
of seniority.
yeah,
In terms of seniority.
but 50 is old in the work life, you
Yes,
know.
But
So that's
you mentioned the skill, then maybe it's a pattern, yeah, because you change your habits, yeah.
Yeah.
And that maybe that's a topic that younger people have other habits, other interests,
Yeah.
and this pattern is cause that they exclude you, exclude you, but I don't think so. They would like to do this to focus to have groups with young peoples, but they do this because of you have other habits,
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
But how does it make you feel when you feel excluded?
Mm-hmm.
For half a year irritation, and then okay, this is the new reality.
Okay, so it starts with irritation, you get used to it, and then you accept it as new fact.
But I think the feeling is different from environment to environment. If I am thinking now in the environment in Egypt, for example, or Middle East, the exclusion not because they are senior or because they are a bit old, but sometimes it's a barrier that was put by the person themselves. Like, I am associate professor now, and these young people, they should not contact me directly. Should come through someone else. So it's a barrier that some of the old people do, or the senior people, and it's become like a rule in society. So there's maybe professors who are very friendly to the student, but still the student or the young generation of researchers say, but they are professors, we can't go to them and ask them directly. So I think it's sort of culture. When you are saying that you edit yourself, you didn't like it at the beginning. I think in some other cultures I like this. Like
now I'm senior.
I am in another level.
Yes. What kind of experiences can you contribute to that, Alp or Lynn? What is it like in your culture? Do older people use this sign of distinction to separate themselves from the young, or do you experience this more as a culture where young and old mix?
Would you like to start out?
Yeah, okay. In Turkish, we have a very similar connection with our elder grandfathers, grandmothers, and as a family. This miracle to company cultures, for example, the old people always come together with young people, and they came together and they always find some conversation, talking, this kind of activities. They have lunch break. For example, I wrote my mother to my list because we have good communication with them, and my atoms. In Turkey, I think it's because of the Mediterranean side nature. We respect them and we talk to them, we communicate with them. This is.
Well, we have other Mediterraneans around here because Ellen is also from a Mediterranean background.
Yeah, I can totally relate to this respect for the family and respect for the elderly being a big thing, going to grandma's house for lunch when you're a kid or when you're a teenage or even an adult if you're lucky enough to still have your grandparents. But work-wise, I would say that it's very fluent here. At least in this office and the contacts I have from other divisions in the university. I've been living and working abroad, like in different countries before, and there were different schemes. So there was this like blended age miscellanea of colleagues going to have lunch together regardless of their position, which I loved and I admire very much. And there were also some senior, like really high up people that kind of like treasure the idea of detach themselves. But in my case, I must say that this was a little bit more isolated cases. I've been very lucky. And here where I am now, it's an absolute blend. So when it's lunchtime and we're here in the office, we usually go to the living room, to the shared kitchen or living room, and then regardless of the age or who's there, we just if today you go with some colleagues, some others, and we totally mix ages. It is true that it is between 21 or 23 years old, the youngest, to maybe 55, the eldest. This very natural here to mix between I don't know if we can say generations. Yeah, generations.
So would you say that the generational mix is somehow related to the education level? Do you think, in other words, from your experience, do you think that academics of all ages have an easier time connecting, trusting each other than academics and non-academics?
The thing is that my colleagues are all, of course, they're like more technical roles and so on, but we all work more in the managerial side. So it's project managers, seniors and juniors and administrative profiles, so on and so on. In academia itself, I have found more, it's not so strict in Spain, but like professor, doctor, not wanting to mix with the rest of the team. I've seen that. But as I said, isolated cases. And I have seen even cases where like the entire team shares, imagine kitchen furniture. This was paradigmatic. And there was this one cupboard with big capital letters, a poster saying this only belongs to Professor Doctor. I think it was like 4 times doctor. So, and to me, it was like, what is this really? And everyone said, like, you can imagine that nobody puts anything there. We don't touch what's in there, and just, you understand who does that belong to. But that was like an anecdote, but it is because we're very flexible in Spain. We don't put the time. I mean, you register for whatever event and you just put your full name. I mean, in other countries, you do specify if you're Master of Science, engineer, doctor, professor, blah, 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 etc. And in Spain, that is not so frequent even. Actually, you would be given some looks if you're like, no, I'm checking in at this hotel, doctor, whatever. I'm not a doctor, by the way. I'm finished PhD. But
I wrote it here, unfinished PhD.
Yeah. Because I've told you my story, Tamer. That's why you are my trusted person. You listen to.
You have a few unfinished PhDs on your list, right, Tamer? Okay, that brings me to the next question. Academic, non-academic, what's the ratio?
Of these people.
Yeah.
Non-academic
I'm
and
not personal academic. I separated in master and PhD. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, me
that's
too.
100%
Master,
academic.
engineer, PhD. Yeah, that was but still, I only have like one academic, but it's 2 academics, sorry, because it's the people I work with most.
Yeah.
So
All academic.
All academics?
4 academic, 6 non-academic.
Okay, mine is the other way around, 4 non-academic, 6 academic. But what do you count as academic?
Who teach full time with
Okay, so you had a very strict
Yeah.
because to me academics were I counted everyone as academic who had gone through university.
In this case, all of them.
Okay.
no,
Okay.
sorry. That
Yeah,
was
yeah.
then it's 10 out of 10.
Okay.
Yeah.
10 out of 10. Yeah, okay, so I have non-academics, meaning people who have never gone to university.
Yes.
That's-
You mean high degree? Okay. Yes.
Yeah, just. And I think that is also typical. We are in a bubble.
Yeah.
We are in a very academic bubble.
Yeah.
So of course, we don't really represent the
Yeah,
average
society.
population. We don't represent society. We are in a focus group today, but we really are a bad focus group
Yes.
because we all are very, very similar.
Yeah.
So that being said.
And maybe I can highlight here something to link this with the objective of the Inspiring the Mind.
Yeah.
The main objective of the Inspiring the Mind that we are bad as academic to design courses by ourselves. Because if you design a course, you will design a course from the point of view of academics, right?
Yep.
but we need to design courses for that address societal challenge. So you need to define the objective based on the need of the society.
Okay.
Mhm. And that's an issue, you know, when you think about that, we are very often very disconnected from those who we are supposed to work for and to work with. And if you look at your list, you realize how much, how small the bubble
Yeah.
really is in which you operate. Disabilities. Do we have, I have one with disability in my trusted circle.
You have more?
None,
None.
none,
No.
none.
No.
What do you think this tells us about the potential and the possibilities of development for disabled people? Because it doesn't say anything about us.
No.
But we are in an academic world. We have a certain age range that we cover, but there's very few disabled people.
And this is strange because we are almost 10 people in the room or so.
Yeah.
And maybe only one disabled person.
And we have one disabled person in our list of trusteds.
Yes, this is not good. Not good
Mhm.
sign, right?
So if we go out and say, rights for the disabled, maybe, you know, we don't need to put special focus on that. Maybe we're wrong, because maybe we are underrepresenting them in a lot of ways, because they don't have the option to even go through certain stages of development because they're in a wheelchair. They don't, I mean, how many of the universities are really wheelchair friendly? If I look around here, and we're in Tromsø today, the buildings probably are equipped to cater, and they have elevators but to get here is already difficult.
Yeah.
Because how are you going to get with a wheelchair from the car to the university? Or if you're blind, I've noticed a lot of blind people around town yesterday. I don't know if that was a coincidence. Maybe there was some tour for blind people. But I thought to myself, I don't know a single blind person in my life. Where are these people?
Actually, maybe I can highlight here in Tromsø, we have a case. This guy actually is retired 6 months ago. He was working in Tromsø since 40 years. He can't see, can't speak, and can't hear. And he was like not having top level position, but he was working at the library, and the university respect him, and he do a great job.
Yeah. So inclusion and diversity is also about seeking out those who are different and checking if you can somehow include them in your environment, in your workflows, in your projects. Because if you have people who have a disability, they are more aware of certain hurdles that we're not aware of. So they put a different spin on certain aspects that we normally would overlook.
Alexandra, if I may,
Yeah.
because you said if we had any connection. So my grandfather was blind, like for all the years I remember, you know, having been around him. He died when I was like very little still. But as a kid, he lived in the middle of the countryside and not in a very easy environment. And they weren't like super well off, so to put it in a nice way. And I always wonder he wasn't born like that though. It was a cause of diabetes. And as a kid, I remember trying to walk from their house to the nearest without seeing. I was trying to imitate, like, how does he move around even? Just around the house, it was super difficult. To me, it was like an absolute mystery. It is true that on his own, he couldn't move much around because there were dangers, like there was an open well, there were things nearby that were a problem. So that on a personal side. And on a more professional, well, also on the personal side, yesterday I went to my kids' audition in the music school, and another colleague, another kid at the school, he was visually impaired, and then the teachers helped him to go to the stage, and he did a beautiful performance. It was wonderful, and that was a little bit of a touch of reality too, right? So all the kids with their parents and just running to the stage when they were called, and then with this kid, everything was like more quiet, more respectful. And then on the professional side, there is this talk I'm requested to give every now and then, well, every year on another university, and I get the opportunity to meet the students and tell them about opportunities to work in here and there, a little bit through my personal story. So most of them, I always tell the main professor to openly give my contact to the students, because they're like wonderful profiles. And like 2 years ago, there was this girl, this lady, she had graduated and she was living already abroad, and she wanted to find new opportunities abroad in international context or institutions at the European level or whatever. And she had a hearing impediment. And I was in contact with her, I'm still, and I got to know that she had this internship at the European Parliament, and that was mind-blowing, because I'm in contact with her over LinkedIn, and she highlights a lot of things that are completely, not in clear sight for those of us who don't have these challenges, right? She's like, we have seen these barriers and we're working towards improving this and that. And well, that's a little bit of my story in relation to disabilities. I kind of have this sensibility, but I'm not so, it's not so close to my circle. This is just life.
Yeah.
But now that I'm getting to know through this girl a little bit more, I think we should all do our part. Honestly speaking, there is a lot.
That's my next
to do.
question. How can we get more sensibility for disabilities, for example? I mean, we don't have any. It's not something that we can, pull out of the hat. But how can you become more sensitive towards issues like that?
Bring them on board everything. So bring them on the table, because we can guess, okay, maybe they have these challenges, this other, but like co-create things with them. Like courses, anything, and facilitate. This is more at the more managerial side, but open more positions favoring them. I mean, we need positive. How is that? I don't like the term positive discrimination, but you see what I mean. We need to facilitate
something like quotas. They'll be hard to fill.
Yes, because that, I know that's a very denostated term and nobody wants to use that anymore, but I think it's needed. It's needed because if you don't have them, you don't actually solve the problems that you have, the barriers, like just physical barriers for accession of people with this.
This brings me to the next level, political aspects versus personal aspects. I know that in Austria, for example, companies of a certain size, and I don't know the exact limits, maybe you know the limits, have to hire disabled people. And if they do not hire disabled people, they actually have to pay punishment fees. Which of course is a bit of a problem also, because you can't always find someone with a disability.
Of course.
But there is ways to open up the spaces for disabled people. And it, as you said, you don't like the word quota, but maybe it needs something like that in order to become more aware of, first of all, the range of disabilities. It's also very, broad. You have physical disability, you have mental disabilities. When do you, where can you put whom? That's a big challenge for companies.
I think we need such an awareness training, but in a form that we cooperate with people, maybe organizations, they're focused on this topic, to make together lecture or something else, that we have more awareness. What the needs of these people, yeah, we need the awareness of what are the needs of them. Yeah, then it's better to go away to integrate them. Yeah. Mhm.
But here we discuss from the point of view of organization or this hiring process, or
Yeah.
but what we should do at personal level.
Well,
As a person.
at a personal level, it's not like you can go to people and say, hey, you're disabled, I want to be your friend. That, but if you want to figure out, there is ways to figure out how it would be if you had this issue. We had a project once in Eisenstadt where we actually put people in a wheelchair that didn't need to be in a wheelchair, and we sent them through town just to create awareness of how unfriendly the town in itself is for people who have physical disabilities. And you don't need to put people in the wheelchairs. Try walking on crutches for a day. Anyone who's had, a broken leg knows that life becomes all of a sudden a lot more difficult. So there is ways to create more awareness. It's difficult to include them on purpose in your life because it's not how you go through life. But if you work in a recruitment department, you are more often in situations where you have to figure out how can I include people, and age can also be a disability. Now,
Age.
yes,
Yeah.
yes, it is considered a disability in a lot of ways. And age is a disability in terms of, for example, openness to technology.
Yes.
A lot of people,
yeah.
a lot of people
That's true.
around me and around our working space, even at the university, when pre-COVID, they refused online meetings, online teaching, online anything. So having had COVID was actually a push for these people to realize that they can still develop, because very often we disable ourselves in a lot of ways. We limit ourselves, and that's also something we're not aware of until we are in a situation where we are left with no choice. Now, going through this list, you will probably have figured out that the people that you trust are very similar to yourself. They are in a very limited age range for the most part. They are probably within your academic circle, in your bubble. They are probably mostly straight people, heterosexuals, or if you are not, probably you know a lot more homosexual people. So that's also a very important aspect in how you associate with people. Most of them will not be disabled because you don't have a disability yourself. When you look at the marital status, you will find that you probably have a lot of people who have a very similar life, similar marital status. And it's a bit like when you are pregnant as a woman, you all of a sudden see a lot of pregnant people. It's this focus that you have. You are naturally drawn towards that what is similar to yourself. And that's the purpose of this exercise. So while we are all open people, open-minded people, and we consider ourselves, is anyone in here who thinks that they're not inclusive?
No, I don't. For me, no.
No, I'm not. No.
Even
I'm
so,
not super inclusive, but I'm not exclusive. Like
Yeah,
I distance myself from.
Yeah.
but even so, that we consider ourselves inclusive people, we still discriminate.
Yeah. So while we consider ourselves inclusive, we see that our capacity for inclusion is limited by certain natural choices that we make.
Yeah, I think it's you have a comfortable feeling, if you a little bit exclude someone, because you're in the bubble. You stay in your bubble, so you feel comfortable. Yeah, that's the topic. Yeah.
Yeah, you're more comfortable around people who are similar to you.
Yes.
Now, the question is, how can you
Dynamics, yeah.
increase?
I know, I don't
You know it.
but excuse me if I say that. It's weird, but it's more like the others feel more comfortable because when I enter not the mirror, I know that I make other people very uncomfortable. This is why I always feel like rather
Uncomfortable.
rather excluded than as a like
Yeah.
you know. Why do I meet the like-minded people?
Mhm.
It's not because I seek them. It's because this is where I'm allowed to stay. This is how I perceive my social context.
Mhm. Mhm.
Right. I do not get an invitation to the dinner party again, for instance, from people who have totally different political views.
Mhm.
Because if I express mine,
Mhm.
they feel so uncomfortable. Like,
Yeah.
no, we don't invite him again.
Yeah, I think that would be another
Nice.
interesting aspect to check, you know, political views,
opinion.
political views, because we very often find ourselves surrounded by people with
Yeah, sure.
very
sure,
similar
yeah,
views.
sure.
Because politics is a very sensitive subject.
Yeah, yeah.
And when it gets to, you know, personal sensitive subjects, people tend to
Yeah.
stick with their own flock.
Yeah.
Because confrontation is not comfortable.
No.
Okay. So
Yeah.
we already talked about what this shows us about diversity and inclusion in our professional lives. Mhm. But what do we really know about diversity and inclusion? What levels of diversity and inclusion are we working with? We have the personal level, but what other levels are there? Because the personal level is easygoing, you know, we feel we're inclusive, we feel that we have a diverse life, but how is diversity and inclusion lived in your university, for example? Do you have people who are in charge of diversity and inclusion? Do you have a program for diversity and inclusion? Are you aware of anything like that?
We are so new to this. I
Um,
guess.
We have guidelines. Yeah, we have guidelines.
We have
Guidelines?
We have a person who is responsible. We have training for students. Yeah.
Okay.
We have.
Training for students. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, and even training for
Stuff.
our staff. Yeah.
Yes. We have a continued
I
education.
haven't done yet. Yeah.
program.
Okay.
that would be my question.
Yeah.
How is
Yeah.
it?
Athena, yeah.
What do you learn?
So actually, I think from our point of view here from Tromsø, we have guideline most probably. Maybe they put it because we need to check it when we submit our
My project.
Yeah.
Yeah, we basically need it all for our
Yeah.
daily lives, because when we submit proposals, project
You need to
proposals,
check it.
you need
You
to-
have this diversity guideline at your
Mhm.
university.
Yeah.
You have to do it. Most probably we have like someone in the administration who is responsible for
Mhm.
diversity. But I am working in this topic since a year and I never met this person.
Mhm.
This means that the university didn't work or doesn't work in order to announce that we have such type of program. I didn't see really for students any program to increase awareness or to include something.
Mhm.
Maybe there is some activity like, you know, this massage shares. There is maybe other things like special classes for them. If you are a student who has some problem, you can contact university and you can get help from them as well. But this is not public enough. So not everyone, even you are an academic or work at university, you don't know, you are not aware this exists.
Which is also very telling, you know, these things exist on an institutional level in a lot of institutions. But people who work in the institution have no real connection with it.
Yeah.
So the question is, why is it there?
Why is there or why the people is not aware of it?
Yeah, that's the next one. But
Yeah.
why is it there to start with?
Right. Why?
Well, because I think it's like political decision from the top leader, like from the ministry, from the, you have to be inclusive organization or you have to be inclusive working space.
So it's more
And
like
then-
a top-down measure.
Yeah,
Hmm?
it's top-down measure, yes, exactly.
I saw about this topic in the morning, yeah. Why I'm not very personally, I'm not very interested in this topic, yeah, to train this something else, yeah. It's a need to do this, yeah, but I'm not very interested in the ideas, because a person which teach this, yeah, which focus on this topic, I feel they do this like an ideology, yeah. And I dislike the ideologies, yeah. That's my problem, yeah, with this topic, yeah.
So you think diversity and inclusion is something that has to do with ideology, with some kind of, I don't know, leftist.
Sometimes too political, yeah.
Mhm.
That's my problem, yeah. It excludes other, yeah, which are not interested in this topic, yeah.
I think they frame it like politic, as you
Yeah.
say, but actually it should not be like this. It's
Yeah.
for society.
Yeah.
It's for society.
So it's top down, it's political, it's framed in a way that turns off some, which is already non-inclusive in itself, if you think about it. From organizational development, we know that everything that comes top down is less successful than things that come bottom up.
Yeah.
Because it meets some kind of resistance. Top down tends to meet resistance.
Yes.
Grassroots movements are fairly strong, versus you just have this top down. We talked about that yesterday, about organizations that have a lot of administration versus organizations that have a lot of top-down decision making.
Yeah, authority versus bureaucracy.
Exactly, authority versus bureaucracy.
Yeah.
And with these in diversity and inclusion measures, they should be natural in a way, because we want to open up to a lot of different aspects, especially in terms of our work as academics, as project managers. But as you said, we have this section in our project proposals that ask us about diversity and inclusion, and we have to actually meet certain criteria. We have to say, yes, we have this measure installed at the university, we have a person responsible for that, we have courses on diversity and inclusion. But from our personal side, I know that the diversity and inclusion offer had to be postponed numerous times because nobody signed up for it.
The offer is the courses, or
They offer the courses, yes.
I haven't done it at the moment, yeah.
And that's the one for the employees.
Yes, that's one for the employees. Now the question is, why is there no interest in the course?
Yeah, because it makes some people feel uncomfortable, probably, or not close enough to the topic. This is harsh, but probably it's like, if it's not like, it's not my business, you know, if it's not like myself or my kids or like someone, a close friend or a close colleague, then I look the other way. I just don't care. I mean, this is harsh, maybe too brutal, but it's a possibility, you know. We tend to not to care for what doesn't affect us. There are so many things that affect us that if it's not that strictly in front of my eyes, then next, something like that could be that we are dehumanized in that sense.
Do you think that we're dehumanized, or do you think that maybe we have no personal need for it because we're all living in rather homogeneous societies?
A little bit of everything, I would say. It is true that you cannot be extra sensitive about things, but we could be a little bit more careful about others, regardless of how close it is to our near environment. It's not the environment to blame. It's like, you know, we are all, you know, in excellent health conditions, you know, we have no problems. So why would we worry about, but it's the same for sustainability matters, you know, if my environment is nice, why would I care about, you know, global issues or something that's going on, you know, in Southeast Asia, even if it's an absolute natural disaster. Sorry, I always bring the environment on board, but
Oh, that's it's a good comparison. Yeah.
Actually, I can follow up here, because I see the environmental issue is the same situation, maybe a bit much advantage. If you are running a lecture about environmental issue, you will get some people, but not as expected. And it's important. I think the point, as Eileen highlighted, mainly maybe sort of awareness to show to the people, hello people, you living good life, but be aware that there is underrepresented group living with you. There is maybe the society will be much better if you work together. And this lecture, this talk is mainly about this topic, to bring people in, just to show them the importance.
Well, I think it's also got to do with the fact that it is highly politicized.
I think it's like Tamot just said it. It should be more like an invitation, that we should do this because it makes us better, and I think that's maybe the way how we communicate this topic,
Yeah, I think that representativity and spaces for dialogue matter. Rising awareness.
I just wanted to add something. And let's say the most harsh and brutal business perspective, and it is.
Yes.
It doesn't matter if I'm responsible for the business results or I'm an employee who adds to the business results. Let's put it that way. I will always focus on those activities that I need to achieve my results. Okay. So whatever I do not need to achieve my results, I would rather postpone.
Yes, that's correct.
Because it's already quite a, let's say, time consuming, energy consuming task to
that's correct.
get the results, right? The results that are demanded. Something someone demands this result. So what we did with the environmental issues was, and this is the trick, the business trick is, they were as long as they have been non-result oriented. So you may or may not be responsible as a company, you may or may not be responsible as an employee to the environmental aspects of the company. It was rather postponed. Now that we have added it by regulation to a demand of the business results, so the next reporting initiatives are demanding, next to the financial reporting, report at least your CO2 footprint. Okay. Now it becomes a business result. You're right. Now everybody says I need to educate myself, my members, and so on, so that we can achieve the result.
But if I can comment, this is again, it's top down.
Of course, of course,
it's law. You know, the government or the parliament will put in law that if you are business, you have to report on this.
Right. So, but just thinking about this, my question is, when do I need with diversity to achieve my business results? Okay. And there is one aspect I need diversity to achieve my business results if I am in an innovation project that is addressing certain aspects like I want to have the most inclusive customer base, or in a public service, it's like a given.
Yeah,
I know from public service innovation that diversity is a key aspect of achieving business results. They could call it business results too, right? But if I don't have this, why bother? You may ask, why bother? Why do I need to take classes in diversity management if I don't have to achieve diversity driven results.
Yeah. So this means that we need, in order to increase awareness, to find sort of positive, direct positive impact to the customer, which is in this case business or organization or a student. Because it's the same for a student, you know.
Yeah.
Why I need to attend this course, for example, if I didn't get any credit out of it, I won't attend.
Yes, right.
So why have diversity for diversity's sake?
Right.
Mhm,
Yeah.
mhm,
So that's the question.
So, It's a question, yeah.
yeah.
mhm,
I just know it from the environmental aspect. We always ask this question, why?
mhm,
Unless
mhm.
it has the direct influence on my results.
Yeah.
But you're right, in the investment market, yeah, we have the ESG criteria,
Yeah.
and S stands for social and diversity and inclusion is a part of them.
Yeah.
So it's already a part of how to invest in good business, yeah.
Okay.
But we are not really aware of this, yeah. That's a topic, yeah. You have to
Yeah.
integrate it to train our students, yeah, about this topic, yeah. Then it's a normal business framework, yeah,
Right.
to get good results, yeah.
Right. Then they will be like, okay.
Well, but the question really is, I mean, about, I don't know the exact figures, but about 10% of the population is apparently homosexual, which is one of the diversity aspects that we can consider.
Okay.
Can we as a business consider that we do not serve 10% of our customer base?
No.
So if you want to look at it from a business point of view, can you afford excluding people with disabilities or excluding people with other sexual orientations or other marital status, or can you afford it?
Maybe or maybe not. Yeah.
Yeah.
There were a lot of business cases, especially in this one from the US, where some would say, I intentionally exclude, because then I position myself to a complete different segment of the market. Super conservative
Yeah, exactly.
So,
Christians,
but-
in the US.
Yeah.
but also if we start to speak about the term of inclusivity in general, you know, people with immigrant background.
Yeah.
For example, Germany, they have a lot of people of immigrant
Sure.
backgrounds. They are part of the market.
Yeah.
People who has disability, like physical disability, part of the market. This homosexual things, part of the market.
Yeah.
So you actually speak about a large piece of market
Yes.
that has something to do with inclusion.
Yes. Right.
And that's why you need diversity and inclusion training, so you are more sensitized for the market realities. You know? I don't think that a lot of people really have well, most of us don't, and we noticed that here in the group, we don't know sexual orientation of a lot of people. We've never thought about it because it's not something that's in the forefront of our thinking, or because we're so inclusive that it doesn't bother us, you know. But there is a lot of people out there, and you mentioned it, that make it a special business case to position themselves differently.
Yeah.
And then you have to ask yourself, what kind of consequences come from there? Do they throw sort of a division line through the population? Do they actually exacerbate, make it more difficult for people who are different to be part of the society?
Part of the business model.
But
Society.
part of the business
Well,
model?
yeah. They'd rather wish they are not existing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
the real question is, the basic question for everything is always, who's benefiting, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So we know that there's several levels of diversity inclusion. The personal one, the business one, the governmental one, and we in our projects are supposed to unite higher education with business and government.
Yeah.
So what role do we play in you know, pushing diversity and inclusion forward? And how can it help us in the project?
I think for my side, the discussion like today, for example, it's important because I am all the time was thinking, okay, maybe at university or government institute, it's easy somehow, not so easy, but easy somehow to go to the boss and say, I would like to run this lecture.
Yeah.
Because the government rule says that you have to include such inclusivity. But if I would like to go to for business people and start to speak with them, they will tell me exactly what's the benefit. Why I stop my workload for this day for 2-3 hours just to attend lecture like this.
Right.
But if we start to give them within this frame, like the market needs this.
Yeah.
The business model can be include this. Your income will increase if you did that.
Yes.
I think it can. So this is one of the outputs here today.
Yes. Yeah.
So what makes us feel good about diversity and inclusion?
What makes us feel?
What do we like about it? Ellen, what do you like about diversity and inclusion?
That it's like a reality that we need to push to make it more visible. Diversity, it's always positive in my humble opinion, to have different points of view, different perspectives, not to have, so it's like if you do a survey and you only do it on, depends on the survey, of course, but only on one segment on the population, it's completely not representative on the entire population. So it happens with diversity. If we are all the same, so we are going to come up with the same solutions, the same problems, the same challenges. So it's same old, same old. While if you bring diversity on board, you're going to see other points of view, and it's always going to be enriching. And inclusion is just simply mandatory. In my humble opinion, we should push this forward to have more inclusive and safer working spaces where we can all grow together, learn together, etc. I'm lucky enough to have, like, it is true that the people that I put, just because I'm closer in work terms, in terms of working hours with them, I put people from only 2 other nationalities other than Spain in my like top 10. But I'm very lucky to be working with people from all over the world in my office. And this only makes us all better to understand situation in other region, other continents even.
Thank you very much, because that
wonderful.
brings me to the next point. Now imagine you run a medium-sized business in central Spain. How are you going to increase diversity and inclusion?
In your business.
In your business, how do you find a diverse population to work for you? And is this really possible? Because at the university, we already have a fairly mixed and inclusive background. But if you run a medium-sized bakery in Pamplona, how are you going to go about it?
Very easily. If I'm an SME or a micro SME even, then I would go to like SVE, like the European Voluntaries, ESV, I think it is, EVS, sorry, in English, European Voluntary Service. I will advertise the position, and I will bring someone as an apprentice or as a worker, etc., something like that.
Because very often that's a business perspectives argument. I have the people here that I have, and there is countries that have a higher level of diversity. Austria is such a typical homogeneous place. We don't have a whole lot of immigration, and then you have diversity quotas because it's now, so to speak, modern to have a diversity quota. And then people say, but where am I going to get these people from? I only have.
But isn't the diversity quota not you must have, but you should not exclude?
You should not exclude, yes.
So if nobody's applying for a position, you don't have to seek someone, you know?
Starting at a certain level, you do pay punishment fees.
If I do not seek someone,
No, if you do not have someone.
Yeah.
yeah, but
If
this
it
means
is disabled, yeah.
active search.
Yes, this
If-
means an
yeah,
active search.
If you just
You start to
Yep.
search for someone like this.
Yeah. And that's when it becomes a bit,
But that's crazy.
that's when it becomes a bit crazy.
Excuse me. but,
Yeah, yeah.
I'm too much from
That's-
a business
that's-
perspective. But
that's
this is
also
crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's
Because
existing over 20 years.
then
or whatever.
I use resources to fulfill again something that does not primarily add to my results, because if that would have been the case, it would have been established already.
Yeah.
Okay,
But
but
that's a
let's,
regulation
yeah,
topic,
that's the situation, but let's go back 30 years.
Okay,
30 years ago, we needed women quotas to get women into the working world, or maybe 40 years ago. It's been a while. So, and that helped really promote females in the workplace.
Okay,
I don't think there was ever punishment for companies who
I don't
didn't
think so.
hire females, but the female quota is still an issue in a lot of countries. And even on European level, we don't have enough females in top management positions. There is countries that do better, there's countries that do worse.
now I must be careful what I'm saying.
No, you don't have to be careful what you're saying,
okay.
because that's also a very controversial
because-
thing.
Because
you know?
this is the controversy in the business was, what if, not intentionally, I have, let's say, 3 applications from men for this position,
Mhm,
1 application from a woman.
Mm.
It's not that I was limiting now,
mhm,
okay? It is, there was this call, 4 people applied.
mhm.
One of the men would be qualified better than any one of this group,
Mhm.
but I need to fulfill my quota.
Yeah.
Now I
Yeah.
need to decide, and I saw this quite
With all
often because of
Mhm.
statistics often. We need to decide for the women, even though less qualified for the
opposition.
Mhm.
position. And I know that all business owners were like furious about the fact
Mhm.
that they need to because of the quota,
Mhm.
which then politicizes the quota from a different point of view, because now they are
Brings
against
us to
it.
this.
Yeah, because now they are against the quota, of
Mhm.
course,
Mm.
not because of their political stance,
Mhm.
but because of their pragmatic need.
Mhm.
Mm.
And then it makes something that might be a good idea a very bad solution. No?
Well, it doesn't have to be. If
Now this
from a
no,
woman's
but this is
point of view, I have to tell you
but this
that
is only
maybe,
why I question quotas in general,
yeah,
and
yeah.
this is just an example.
Yes, but maybe you have to look at how the position was defined to start with.
Okay, very good.
Yeah, maybe you have to look at what do I know what's good for the company? Maybe I need
Uh-huh.
to have certain aspects
Qualifications,
as
skills.
qualifications
Okay.
that make it more open for a wider variety of people to apply.
Uh-huh.
And then, you know, through this back door, you
Okay.
become more diverse and more inclusive, and you may find new ways of doing business
Okay.
rather than the same old, same old.
Right. Okay.
So maybe it's in maybe the problem isn't when you have the applications
Not in the
on the table,
decision phase, but in
in the preparation phase,
phase. Yeah.
because I just look at the University of Applied Sciences Bergen London. We have department heads.
Uh-huh.
We have 4 men and 1 woman.
Yeah,
And do I dare say that the woman outperforms her colleagues?
you may.
Maybe. For now, we
Yeah.
can say that she and
Yeah.
but she had a really, you know,
Yeah.
it wasn't natural that this position would be filled with a female. It was a male
Oh, okay.
before. So
Okay.
before we had 5 males.
But it wasn't filled because of quota, it was filled
It wasn't
because
filled
of
because of
qualification.
quota, yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Or qualification in the other thing.
Yeah, but the thing is, a lot of times you
relation.
find that people with a diverse background feel that they need to have a different approach, and this different approach very often leads to better performance.
Mm.
Because in the market, you know that the same old
True.
is the same old, but if you have a new person in the whole mechanism, then things start to evolve almost naturally
Yeah.
in different directions.
But still, again, from my point of view, I'm sorry for that. I somehow still agree, you know, sometimes you, for example, at project level, you would like to hire someone and you have limited budget
Yeah.
and you need to make the project success or the product success if you are
Yeah.
in the business sector.
Yeah.
And you have application and you have like one man who really perfect here. And then you have to choose a woman because the rule says that. I feel this is not fair for the man himself, because you know, we choose the wrong person, not the wrong person, but the least qualified person, and we left this guy, and he should be hired because he has the most qualification.
Yeah.
So I think it's sort of discrimination against this man. So we did discrimination against him, but also we hurt ourselves because we hire someone who is less qualified, but not high qualified enough.
Yeah.
So I still see, you know, there is something here.
There is an issue, yes, and life is not fair.
No. Okay.
And maybe on the way to more fairness, we need to have less fairness here and there.
Yeah.
But I was
From time
always,
to time.
but I was always wondering, independent of the issue, is it possible to regulate without quota? Because quota is an input factor. It's not an output factor.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Can you regulate with an output factor and still intervene so that the structure changes, you know?
Well, let me give you an
Is that
example.
possible in diversity?
Let me give you an example
It's a
from
curiosity
America. You know,
Right.
I lived in America for a long time. My late husband was American, and his brother was a dentist. Now, when his brother applied for dental school in the 1960s, there was late 60s, early 70s, they had quotas for Black people. And my brother-in-law did not get a slot in dental school because the slot was given to a Black person with lesser grades.
Okay.
And at the time, my brother-in-law was furious because there was this person who was, in his eyes, less qualified than he was. Well, he made it in the next year.
Okay.
But for the overall development of equality, it was important to do this because otherwise Black people would not have had the opportunity to go to dental school.
Okay.
So it's not something you can always look at from a very short-term perspective. You sometimes have to look at the overall development of a society. So, and if we keep on excluding, for example, Black people from jobs, then it will have a negative impact for a long time to come because Black children will not have role models to look up to. They will not see that, okay, this person has made it, so I can make it too. And you know, the role model aspect is also a very important aspect. When we think of pilots and firemen, we think of men because we don't have enough female role models in these positions. But this also makes it again more difficult for future generations to be more mixed because you need to see that it can work. If we talk of lawyers, we have male figures in our heads, at least at our age.
No, I have women.
Because
of Ellie McBeal.
Ellie McBeal.
Because of
Yeah, so we learn through popular culture too, of course.
Of course, a lot.
Ellie McBeal was an exception back in the 80s.
True.
If you look at Suits 2023, a new lawyer series on Netflix, it's very male dominated. Yeah.
Like I had a female boss, yeah.
Yeah.
In Zurich.
Yeah, it's yes.
I must.
Yeah, but he had the female boss was very masculine in his
And-
role.
in the behavior.
That very
in
often
behavior.
happens that women become more masculine
Yeah.
when they take on roles reserved for men
Yeah.
in their mind. Hmm?
Yeah.
And if you have any doubts about the importance of quotas
No,
and such like that, I suggest that you watch a series that portrays the life of marketing agencies in the 50s, 60s, and 70s. Mad Men.
Oh, man. Yeah.
Very, I mean, you see the life portrayed in this era, and with a nowadays point of view, in hindsight, some of the things that happen in there are atrocious. The way women are treated, the way, and it's not like how they're treated, but what people say, how they are perceived.
Sure.
Yeah. So,
But there is this social aspect, okay, and there is this of social behavior and of social, I don't know, I'll say that. And role models and all this, okay.
mhm.
But then there is, and when I look at quotas, it is for me really, it's like a business indicator, not a performance indicator, but a business indicator.
Yeah.
So my question is okay, you need input indicators to get results, okay. But if you are only steering with input, and quota is only input, then if I want to have a high performance team, I do not do this with quota. I do this with the result driven, purpose driven organization.
Yeah.
Okay. So can we, let's say, bridge the output and the input
Yeah.
somehow? Because otherwise, my purpose driven, and I'm the hero. For me, in my personal experience, this I would say very clear. My purpose driven organization is limited if I am regulated by quotas, independent of what the quota says. Okay, independent. It is limited.
Yeah, I have answer for that, but before I go to the answer, I would like to say hello, Hanan. You are with us, Hanan? Yeah, okay. We are discussing now this diversity society, if you are with us. For this, I think it's difficult to make like show the success if you are in a business.
Yeah.
Show the success of the output because we don't have input yet.
Okay.
But we can show success stories.
Okay.
Like, for example, we can highlight a company that lead by a female or the CEO is a female, and we show, okay, this company succeeded to do that and that and that. Why not you follow the same model? I think this can work.
And I think it's a question that needs to be asked much earlier. How do I define certain outputs? What is important as part of the output?
Yes.
And if I'm moving away from a standard economy to a more innovative version, one that is more, oriented on social entrepreneurship, for example, then I may just have to get away from the standard KPIs that I'm, measuring success by. And then I need a more diverse working population, and it doesn't matter if it's women or people with disabilities or.
No, I'm absolutely confident that the diverse workforce will produce better results.
Of course.
No question.
But how we
But how do we find the right diverse people?
How do we achieve the diversity? If somebody says you have to because the quota tells you, it's like.
Yeah.
I think this argument is on a very short focus, that you have to get results, in the next period, in the next quarter, in the next year, but in the long term, it should be a strategy, to get more diverse teams, to get better results in the long run,
Yes. But please without quotas.
So the quota is the uncomfortable item that we have identified.
No, just from you. But you mentioned about the environmental topic, yeah?
Yeah.
We said, okay, we don't have regulations, yeah? We should improve ourselves, yeah?
Yeah.
To get a better result, yeah?
Yeah.
But we don't have regulation, it doesn't work.
No,
Yeah.
the regulation is good, but that's very interesting. In the environmental regulation, it is output oriented. It says you shall not produce more CO2 than this.
Okay.
They don't tell you how to produce less CO2.
Mhm.
Now you must take all your innovation potential of the company to produce less CO2.
Maybe this quota should be more flexible, yeah? That means.
This is what I in the comparison between these two.
Mhm.
Mm.
I don't know how you would measure the output of diversity.
Right. That's
Actually, I before you say this example, I had an idea. You know, it can be like top level again. Like, you know, the people at the top level say, okay, this year we need to achieve like 5% of our selling to be for disability people also.
Mhm.
Something like this, yeah.
Yeah, and then in order to achieve this percent, we need to hire someone who is disabled in order to market our product.
Right.
Or become or make us aware of what it takes to become more marketable to a certain group.
Yeah.
Yes.
If I don't have any homosexuals on my team, I'm not going to know
No,
how I'm
right.
going to touch that market
Right.
in any way, shape, or form. I will never come up with a proper marketing strategy.
Mhm.
Because I can't relate, you know.
Yeah.
So it's also about being able to relate to groups
Yeah.
and becoming more aware of the needs, and then you can again come with your business side and say, okay, if I want to open new markets, I need to have these people on board to help me along, to understand better
Right.
what makes them click.
Right.
This is in the frame of the short term, like, you know, next year we need 10% from our selling will go to this group.
Right.
Then we need to hire 2 persons,
Right.
for example. But with the long term, it will be automatic because the structure of the company or the business
That's what I mentioned.
will include these people and they will see the benefit, and then
That's what I mentioned.
the company will decide by themselves to increase more diversity.
Yeah.
And plus if I may say so, we have a very Eurocentric point of view in our discussion. There's lots of countries out there where people with a diverse background simply don't even get a job. The likelihood that you end up in poverty if you're homosexual in most countries in the world is a lot higher than the likelihood
Yes.
if you're non-homosexual. So
Yes.
that's an issue. I mean, that affects 10% of the population.
Yes.
And
Actually, this is good to highlight here because we are recording. Just to put it in our record, we really discuss it in the EU center point of view.
Yes.
But if we start just to switch to Africa or to Middle East, it will be different context. So in Middle East, for example, the Gulf country, there is a lot of discrimination against Arab people from the same, not even from the same country, because this is rich, this is not so rich, and a lot of discrimination.
Yeah.
so some societal structures in themselves are already non-inclusive.
Yeah.
Like social movement. We know that the caste system in India basically prohibits people from upward social development.
The social mobility. Yes.
So the social mobility aspect is one of the things that we really need to also consider, because we're not just working in Central Europe. Well,
But that's the crazy.
that's the
Crazy. That's the crazy point in business. Okay? If I operate with my business in Europe, I will not only in operations, but also in the perception of my business. I will be super inclusive, I will be super environmental friendly, blah, blah, blah. And then I offer the same goods or services, let's say in a different context, like Middle East, or I know from China. And at once, I don't care about these aspects in the perception and experience of the products and services on the market. Because is not demanded.
Yeah, or
Or
even worse, you'll be
Would even
not,
would even exclude you.
yeah, exactly.
Mhm.
Like if I would be for more democracy, let's put it there, and you go to China and you would always advertise your product and your services with more democracy and more
Mhm.
like no.
You will be out
Yeah.
of the market.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
So the question is really business ethics, you know,
Yeah.
how much am I willing to bend my ethics in order to be successful in a market?
In one or other market.
Mhm, mhm.
But this is problem because for business oriented project or things, the main thing that control is the financial benefit.
Mhm, mhm.
So if I am an owner of a company and I have high ethics about inclusivity and I have to follow this and to follow that.
Yeah.
If there is any opportunity to go for Middle East, for example, and I know that there is a dictatorship there, I will tell my company in Egypt, for example, or in Middle East,
Only.
to be in supporting dictatorship in order to work.
Yes. Mhm.
Otherwise, I will not get financial benefit.
If I want to go into business with an Arab company, I'm not going to send my females
Yeah.
to the discussions.
Exactly. I
Mhm.
should do.
And they may
my
be
main-
highly qualified females, but I'm not going to send them there because I want to go, you know, and establish
Yeah.
business in a new environment.
Yeah.
And there's the question, you know, where do you
Where do-
say,
Okay.
okay, this is not worth it. I do not want to support this kind of system. Now that we have the situation with Russia and the Ukraine, a lot of companies all of a sudden found it reasonable to reduce business with Russia out of reputation reasons, really. There was this scandal in Norway, for example, where Freia Chocolates was being boycotted because the owner of Freia Chocolates operated in Russia.
Really?
Yes.
I mean,
And
really,
Freia
really
chocolate is like
boycott?
the
Customer boycott?
customer boycott, yeah. Like train companies would not sell quick lunch anymore. And quick lunch is like the staple food for Norwegians when they have a snack. That's like, you know, if Mannerschnitten were to go out of that was really, really serious here.
Whoa,
Hmm?
okay.
So where do you draw the line as a business? And that's
Customer boycott.
customer boycott. Yeah.
That's my line.
That's the line. But that actually happened a couple of weeks ago.
Really?
Yeah. And I
Wow.
was really surprised because quick lunch is like Mannerschnitten here. And if you can imagine
But
the
this is
uproar.
cool. I mean, the customer boycott still exists.
Yes. And we're not talking individual customer boycott.
No,
It
no,
was
no, but the real
companies
one.
who stopped selling the
The real one.
chocolates. Yeah,
You're out of
yeah.
business.
Mhm.
And only for a week. And you go crazy.
Yeah, so that was real uproar. And
Super.
so if that is possible, you know, what and I in the entrepreneurship courses, I always say you, the individual customer, you have a lot of power.
Funds.
That's
And
a
if you demand that your product shows that the product of your choice shows that they have a diverse and inclusive workforce, the company will see to it that they have a diverse and inclusive workforce because customers are king.
Yeah. At least if it is.
I think that's that it's a force, yeah, that if a customer buys something, yeah, but I think it's the combination of social media and the topic, yeah, that it can be done in a very short way, yeah, in like a dynamic, yeah, which have the force to stop these activities in Russia, yeah.
Yeah, but I'm really interested in this boycotting because I don't care about social media. And and I also advise any company owner, don't care about social media because it's just a noise. It gets loud very quick and it just will turn off because there's another noise. But customer boycott means I see it in my numbers, but I don't sell.
Yeah, but if you don't care about it, yeah, it doesn't matter because they do them themselves, yeah.
No, I
That's
understand
not-
this.
okay.
No, I understand. What I'm telling you is
Yeah.
too many business people nowadays are like, if I get a bad reputation on social media, I need to react. I don't think so. I know that I'm not the majority here, but I don't think so, because you have always trolls on the internet. Most of the campaigning is not because of a real reason, but because maybe even your competitor paid someone to start the havoc.
Yeah.
Okay. So why react on this? But I need the direct customer. I need the direct customer answer. It can be the money that's selling over the counter, but it can be also like real expression of your real customers, not like on the social media, but in the direct communication with your sales force. I think these are measurements. Then I need to react quick. This is why I'm so interested on the boycott. How could they really make the people not buy anymore? Because it's very seldom, okay,
To force all
to
the
force all of them.
Mhm.
We weren't
Because when I-
weren't successful with oil industries,
Yeah.
for instance, when Shell or others, with the real environmental.
when I go to market to buy a product, I will not saying this company is selling or manufacture their product in Russia or in China.
But because you don't know about it.
Yeah.
Now, I heard about this on the news, and every time I go past Freya chocolate now, I'm like,
Yeah.
But
So,
I think that that's the principle of market, because
Yeah.
the retailer and something else, they're a part of them,
Yeah.
and they decide we don't sell this now, At
That
the
could
end,
be, that could be.
Yeah.
a
So
reason.
not from the customer
Not from
level,
the
but
customer,
from the
yeah.
middle,
Yeah.
middle level.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
customer choice. And I do think that you may underestimate the power of social media, because you and I, we're not on social media, but we are really the exception.
No. Well, if I may say so, no, in that case, yes, I am not personally on social media for very particular reasons. But I have, let's say, orchestrated some campaigns on social media very successfully, and I know how it works. So for companies, so this is why I am the most critical advisor on social media. I know that. I know that I also tell some companies they don't even have to be on social media because it is just lost resources, because the customer base is not being really active on social media in the sense of that direct daily routines connect with social media. So it's a minority that might, but it's not representative. It's a minority that it looks in social media, it almost looks like if it is a majority always. But if you look at who is producing the information amount, it might be a very specific minority, actually. But this is it's really case dependent. So there are companies who are relying, the complete business model is social media related, and there are others who are rather wasting time and energy on social media. But this is my.
I'm afraid that this is also an age thing. I think that the younger generation is getting their news and their information from social media. So
that's true. So if I say some companies, they have a particular target, say, or a customer segment or target groups who are not using social media on a daily basis, for instance.
But diversity and inclusion are big aspects that you could promote through social media.
Yeah, sure.
I agree. Yes.
You can definitely think about the power of the internet. Lots of things have become normal thanks to the internet, because a lot of people did not get information outside of their national public news before the internet. We did not have access to news from other places fast like we have them now. There was the newspaper that arrived at the newsstand 1 or 2 days later. So you always relied on old news,
Yeah.
which is totally different now.
Yeah.
Of course, the aspect of false fake news and false information and politicized campaigns
Yeah.
is also an issue. And when I say what is uncomfortable for me about diversity and inclusion, I think one of the aspects is that an argument is a minority dictates their visibility for the majority.
Yes.
And that's a big controversial issue, you know, like for example, there's always the discussion about pride parades. Why are pride parades not necessary?
To make our
They
life
become-
more colorful.
Yeah, to make our life more colorful. I can understand that, but you know, there's a lot of people who claim that that's an overrepresentation of a minority.
Yeah.
I agree.
For
example, here in Tromsø, the government give to the student first and second year a bag that paid by tax, and they put this pride plate on it. So
the what?
the logo of the
Okay.
yeah. So the question is, as you said, it's sort of minority, but they try to rule everything, like dictatorship from the minority.
Is it?
Yes, yeah.
And there is this issue of, you know, minority being overrepresented. Then there is the issue of racial diversity. You know, that's definitely an important issue for countries like the United States with a big immigrant nation. But when it comes to racial diversity in Austria, we're really limited. We don't have a whole lot of different people of different colors.
Oh.
So
Okay, colors.
yeah, where's the need for a program? And the question is it more in a country that doesn't have a lot of diversity?
Okay.
Or are they more easily integrated if there's not so many of them? Because we always sort of hang with, we have proved that we like to hang with our crowd.
Yes.
Yeah, we have our little list.
Yes.
We know that we're, I'm looking through the most racially diverse person on my list is probably Tama because he's from Egypt. If we had questioned racial diversity, we could, you know, you can extend this game for a number of items.
Yeah.
And all the other people are white Central Europeans. And is this because I don't like other people, or is it because I just am not exposed to them? Where would I find them? You know? And let's face it, Tama and I, we got together to a certain extent because you had lived in Austria and you knew about our culture.
Yes.
So you knew that was a culture that you like to work with.
Yes.
So again, it's about proximity versus distance, you know?
Yeah.
I wouldn't have stood a chance with another Norwegian project manager who had never had contact with an Austrian team.
Right.
There was no, and so my theory is that you always need some kind of overlap to create more overlap.
That's correct. You can't start from scratch. You can start from zero.
I mean, you can start from zero, but then it's a very conscious effort that may need some quota.
I think it's a learning from the learning concept. Yeah, we have to nudge our students or colleagues. Yeah, to get in touch with another aspect. Yeah, that means if you don't have the need to do this. Yeah.
Right.
You stay in your comfortable bubble, yeah. But if you're nudged, yeah, to do this, to work with other people together, yeah, you see, okay, it's another situation. I can learn a lot of these people, yeah.
Right.
but it was not my intention to do this. Yeah.
It's a bit like with our entrepreneurship course.
Mhm.
We make them develop a virtual startup
Yeah.
to get them in contact with the thought that lies behind it. So if we had a next level of this course, and we wouldn't just include sustainability, big data and AI, but also diversity and inclusivity, then they would probably come up with new aspects for their business idea and for their business model.
Yeah.
So nudging is
Yeah.
probably a really
Yeah.
important aspect in the whole thing.
Mhm.
We'd have to try it out.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, why? Because nudging is limiting choices.
Or opening up new choices that you would have
Open
never
up.
considered.
Nah.
How would you-
By definition, nudging is limiting choices,
No,
which is good.
No,
Which is good.
I think it's
If I want-
it's a tool, yeah, to accelerate
Yes,
the learning
of course,
process. Yeah.
of course, of course.
Mm.
It is just that if I want someone to fulfill an action,
Mhm.
if it is a buying action or if it is like
Mhm.
washing your hands or not, sanitation was quite an aspect in the last couple of years.
Yeah, yeah.
So the designer limits choices in a sense of you can't not take this decision.
Mhm. Yeah.
Okay. By sanitation, you are like, you go into an office and you cannot sanitize your hands. That was very important. So you needed to figure out how people may not pass a certain point in the hallway
Mhm.
until they would have sanitized their hands. And so you needed to build this environment, which means limitation of choices.
Yeah.
And in the selling process, it's the same. It's like, no,
Mhm.
I don't give you 5. This is very weird because usually you differentiate and you say, what was it? Ice beyond light, ice beyond summer, ice beyond the beer. Ice beyond, I don't know what. But then the customers, they're like, what should I do? Doesn't take decision. If you go like, ice beyond, he goes, oh, ice beyond. This one.
Yeah, and there is actual studies that show if you sell 20 versions of
Yeah.
jam,
Yeah.
you sell less jam than if you
Then,
just
right.
offer 6 versions.
Right.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. So maybe
So I like the aspect.
limiting
Limiting.
the framework. It's like education. Your children need guidelines. Illimited options lead to no result, really.
Right. Unlimited, no result.
Unlimited, no result. So
Yeah.
you have to define the limits, the boundaries to get people going.
Mhm.
Yeah, we're like a herd, you know,
Yeah.
and we
damn
need
it,
our boundaries.
Quota is one of these limits, right?
Yeah, quota is a good thing.
Oh,
So if we have
Now you got me.
one
You got me.
reasonable result from this, maybe we convince Stefan that quotas are all bad. They
So I know that it's not all bad, but
Yes.
I know that.
We have one positive outcome.
I think he was already convinced by the circular argument. This topic.
Yeah.
So, to conclude our session today, I would like to say what questions remain open.
Mhm.
What questions are there that remain open when it comes to diversity inclusion? What is the most obvious question that remains open?
Actually,
Sorry, yeah.
no, please
please.
go ahead. No.
Now, for me, it's we have an on our university we have a course here for lecturer, yeah. And my question is, who can, maybe somebody can nudge that I will attend this course, yeah.
I haven't attended it myself yet.
Yeah, okay.
If we can attend it, the three of us. The three of us.
Yeah, that was, yeah.
The three of us should attend it.
Yes.
Yeah, that was a good idea. yeah.
But the
No, it's
the
awesome.
very poor person who is teaching this course with us 3 years,
Yeah.
Yeah, that
Yes,
will be a
right.
very big challenge.
there will be a
Teacher.
very
Yeah,
okay.
but I think the most obvious question probably is, how can we live diversity and inclusion in our daily project lives, in our daily teaching lives? Before I went into the entrepreneurship topic, I never really considered entrepreneurship when I explained a certain circumstance. I had a very strong managerial point of view. That was it. Now, if I wanted to include diversity and inclusion in my teachings, I could, think about the examples that I used to teach certain things with, and maybe just change a very small aspect to give it a new twist, instead of saying this man did this and that.
Yeah.
Maybe it would be
woman,
this, or this man in a wheelchair
it's-
did this and that, just to create other pictures in
Yeah.
people's heads. Because it all starts with a picture, I believe.
For me, I think the two open question is how we can success to increase awareness, as you just, it's the same figure as you say. Awareness at different level, at ourselves, and as a person, maybe at organization level, maybe at societal level. But it's not only awareness, how we can take action. So awareness itself is not enough, but we need to take action. So I think this is the two things. Still open, we need to do more work on that. Because if you are aware but you didn't take any action, if you are businessman and okay, there is underrepresented group, we need to include them because it's important part of the society, but your business model as it was. So what's the point? So you need to take action.
And how can we move from a project management that includes diversity and inclusion in project proposals from just we have to do this to we seriously consider it?
Yes.
Because a lot of times now we're in a point where, that's some, box that we need to check.
Yeah.
But it's not yet natural that we,
Make it.
just choose people
Yeah.
and naturally fulfill this diversity
Yeah.
requirement.
Actually, here I was like thinking about this over the weekend because we have to write something in our report, in Clouders I report about the diversity. And all the way the previous report, we all the time report on diversity on the KPI. Like this year we got 49% male, female, and this number male and so on. And now I start to see the Clouders I not as a project, but as initiatives that include 4 other projects, and start to see the Inspiring the Mind is a tool, not as a project, but as a tool that aim to study how we can make this inclusive. So we have a full fund for a project, for a team that will work on something. Maybe there is no result because so far from our discussion, we still try to find a way, but I can see this component is important for the initiative in general. But this is from my point of view, like, from our Clouders, I say, but again, this is a question that we need to ask for other people, if you are leading an EU project or leading a national funding project, how you can really implement these things beyond the KPIs.
Yeah. And another question that remains open for me in terms of diversity and inclusion is, again, the example of homosexuality. Can it be an issue for me to ask people, are you homosexual or heterosexual, because I need to fulfill a quota?
Good luck with that.
It would be very difficult, and it would be very offensive, I think.
Yeah,
it sounds offensive.
It is offensive. Why do you have to? Because that's a very private subject.
right.
And on the one hand side, we have pride parades, but on the other hand, it's a really private subject. So you don't go around asking people for their sexual preference when you have a job interview,
I think you're not allowed to, are you?
You're not allowed to, no?
Yeah.
So, I mean, so which aspects of
Sexual
diversity and
orientation is not
inclusion
allowed.
are
Not in
public, which ones are private, and how can you unite this field of tension, you know,
Between private
between
and public.
public and private interests.
And now we're at the end of this workshop, but this is a very good question.
Mhm.
Why is it not allowed to ask? I mean, I do understand why it's not allowed. And then you are demanded to fulfill.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Exactly. So.
You're not allowed
That's
to ask, but you're allowed to fulfill.
Mhm.
You're demanded why?
How I do it
Yeah.
without asking.
It reminds me a bit of the American military in the 1990s. They had this policy about sexuality that was called "Don't ask, don't tell." So, which meant you are allowed to be homosexual, but you're not allowed to tell anyone about it, and you're not allowed to ask anyone about it. By now, it's all different because you know they can get married and everything. But it was an interesting point in the evolution of accepting the fact that these people are there, you know, and they were always there. Let's face it, that's an invention of the 1960s that always existed. So it just had a different position in society over the development of the human being. So yeah, how do you ask and how do you find out? I know of one colleague at least that has a disability that didn't want to be registered as disabled because he himself found it unimportant to a certain extent. So again, you know, how do you administer the whole topic as a company, as a project, as a nation? How do you administer it? That's one of the questions that remains open for me.
Good question.
Is there any other questions from the audience online? Because if
I think I'm good. Thank you.
then I thank you very much for attending. Thank you very much for your contributions to the discussion. And I hope we'll see each other in the context of another course in the future.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Alexandra. Thank you,
Thank you,
Tom.
Ellen.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a wonderful afternoon.
You too.
Bye
I
bye.
think,
Bye bye.
thanks, Hanan, as well. Thank you.
So.
You can stop the recording.
And we had such a lively discussion here. The poor people on